So I'm about to show you a video, and I am curious if this is you or ever has been you, because it is extremely common and probably not talked about nearly enough for individuals who may have the complete intention of finding the right person to date, finding the right partner, to literally be sabotaging themselves in dating more than you would ever know and more than they would ever know, because this is not conscious sabotage. This is not something where somebody's waking up saying, oh, I can't wait to sabotage my dating life today. In fact, no self-sabotage is like that. What self-sabotage actually is our conscious mind intending one thing and our subconscious mind having things that are blocking us from being able to get there. For example, you may want to start a new business, but if you have a core limiting belief that says something like, I will fail, then of course you consciously want to try, but your subconscious is going to say, no, I don't want to try because I just know I'm going to fail. And believe it or not, your conscious mind is only responsible for 3 to 5% of all of your beliefs, thoughts, emotions, and daily actions and choices that you make. Whereas your subconscious is 95 to 97%. I want you to take a look at this video and let's see if this has ever been you before. And then we're going to talk about what you can actually do about this if you have elements of you that resonate with this.
Want to go. I have tears in my eyes. I don't want to go. It's too late though.
You have to go in 10 minutes.
I can't. My pulse is racing. I can't breathe. I'm literally crying.
I would cry too. It's literally gonna be fun.
I'm gonna hate him.
No, you don't know that.
I do. He's gonna have a weird voice.
Okay. So, on one hand, this is kind of like a funny video. It's kind of sweet and endearing. This person's really stressed about a date and it's, innocent and you can see this, but there are really important mechanics here to actually unpack. So I want to take you through how to rewire your personal dating blueprint by finding out what's going on at a subconscious level, since your subconscious is the one actually running the show. And then we will unpack 5 major things that you can really do. Okay. And these are not hard things. These are simple. So the first thing you have to understand is that your subconscious mind is choosing your life. Okay. And this is actually a really kind of scary thing in a sense if you don't understand the mechanics of it. So here's what happens. You go through your childhood and set of experiences in childhood, and these experiences condition you. In other words, they give you a certain set of conditions that then cause you to think, okay, this is how I'm supposed to be treated. This is what love is. This is what connection is. And because of these conditions, and by the way, we're conditioned through repetition and emotion. It's what fires and wires neural pathways and neural networks in the brain. This repetition and emotion causes you to usually become whoever conditioned you to yourself. Now, let me make that make sense. If you grew up, for example, feeling like you're not good enough, maybe you had really critical parents and they were always saying, oh, this wasn't good enough. You should have done this better. Then what ends up happening is you become your parents to yourself. You become the person telling you as an adult, oh, you're not good enough. This should have been better. Not because you want to be like that consciously, but because subconsciously you've been conditioned this way. You've literally been programmed this way, wired this way. So now here you are going through life and going through your experiences, playing these old conditions in the relationship to yourself. Now, as an adult, when you first start dating, we can say, oh, we want that like really emotionally available person, the healthy person, the safe person. You can want all those things, but wanting comes from the conscious mind. Patterns and habits and decisions come from your subconscious 95+% of the time. So your conscious mind says, oh, I want these things. These are my standards. These are my non-negotiables. Your subconscious chooses what's familiar. And what is familiar, the most familiar, is the way you treat yourself. The reason your subconscious wants this is because it equates familiarity to safety and thus survival. So it goes, okay, if we have these familiar things, then we are more likely to survive. So let's keep choosing that. Now you might sit here and ask me, well, how could I possibly know, when I first start dating somebody and they seem like everything's amazing about them and they tell me all the right things, how could I possibly know that I'm going to choose the same type of emotionally unavailable person or the same type of person who's disloyal in relationships? How could I know that? Well, here's the other thing that's happening. Your subconscious mind, when you meet people, your subconscious and unconscious collectively take in up to 1 billion bits per second of data, of information. And remember, more than 93% of communication is nonverbal. So you're taking in this rich amount of data, of information about somebody based on their body language, their tone of voice, their micro expressions, how long they maintain eye contact for, if they're facing you or not, how they're texting as you start to get to know them further. Are they short texters? Are they sporadic texters? How open, how vulnerable are they? I mean, there's so much information that we're taking in, but only 40 to 60 bits per second of that 1 billion bits per second you're gathering at times makes it all the way to your conscious mind. It's basically something you are consciously aware of. And so what ends up happening is we have this rich web of information that we're filling up about somebody in a very short period of time, much deeper and bigger than we're consciously aware of. And so based on these things, we're really getting a pulse on who somebody is very quickly and how they're going to show up in the relationship to us. And so if you literally are somebody who grew up feeling not good enough and maybe unseen or unheard or not important, all these types of core wounds, consciously you might be like, I want someone who chooses me. But subconsciously, you're going to choose what's familiar. And this is the difference between your conscious and subconscious mind. This is the difference between conscious mind saying, okay, I want one thing, subconscious being like, no, we want what's familiar, because familiarity equals safety equals survival. And ultimately, your subconscious is like, oh, we've been surviving. So these patterns, these themes are working. Let's keep choosing people who make us feel this way. So now we have this really challenging dilemma where you'll feel like in your dating life, you keep sabotaging, you keep letting yourself down, you keep choosing the wrong person. It's because you're not consciously choosing. It's because your subconscious habituated patterns are the ones actually choosing your life and your fate for you. So what do you actually do about this? How do you ever overcome this? Because if you're somebody watching this video right now, chances are you've gone through a string of relationships where you felt like, I keep choosing the unavailable person or the disloyal person or the person who violates my boundaries or manipulates me. Or, you may have a theme of people in your life where it's like you keep ending up with this character or archetype. And you probably don't want to keep going through that for the rest of your life, I can imagine, because it doesn't feel good. So what do we actually do? Well, there's 4 major things. Okay. Here's the first one. I want you to make a list of exactly who you've been choosing. What are the characteristics? What are the traits? Are they somebody who's unavailable, don't listen to you, they're not present, they are disloyal, like we talked about, they put you down? What are some like actual character traits associated with some of those behaviors? If they put you down, maybe they are critical. So what is it? Like, give me some character traits, like stir them up in your mind and be really honest about it. Okay. And now I want you to, and you can pause this if you need to, or you can go through the exercise mentally and then come back to it on paper later if you prefer. Then what I want you to do is I want you to ask yourself, okay, these traits that trigger me, these things that hurt me in my relationships, these people I keep choosing, where do I treat myself the exact same way? Okay. So if it's like somebody doesn't listen to you, where you're not listening to yourself, maybe to your intuition, to your own feelings, to your needs, to your boundaries. If it's somebody who's disloyal, where are you also disloyal to yourself by maybe like putting yourself last or people pleasing everybody so much that you're betraying your truth or your authenticity? Or maybe you're not living a loyal life in terms of like how you want to show up for your mission, your vision, the things that matter to you. Like maybe you have career goals, but you kind of just throw them by the wayside so that you can be who you think your partner wants you to be all the time or who your parents want you to be. I want you to really take a look at those things, okay? And ask yourself, okay, where do I do these things in the relationship to myself? Now, in the third part of this, I want you to ask yourself, what am I going to do to stop? Okay. How am I going to change this? Because if we keep going through these same patterns and the same things in the way we treat ourselves, our subconscious keeps choosing that outside of us. But if instead we're able to say, okay, hold on, I'm going to change how I treat myself. And if you do it through enough repetition and emotion over time, it fires and wires new neural pathways. You see, neural pathways are like muscles, they atrophy over time. If you're not working out your bicep muscle, it shrinks. Same thing with neural pathways, but they're smaller than your bicep muscle the vast majority of the time. So you'll literally see that you've got these shrinking neural pathways if you stop doing those things. So if you don't listen to yourself, how are you going to start listening to yourself? Maybe you do a needs check and maybe you check in with your feelings throughout the day. Maybe you just practice being in your body, being present. Your body will tell you the truth. You'll know if something makes you feel uncomfortable. You'll feel that like tightening of your torso and your stomach and your shoulders and jaw. You'll know if something feels comfortable. You'll feel your shoulders drop and relax. Maybe it's just practicing being in touch with yourself there, but you need to be able to do a strategy to get through this. Now, there's a couple other really important things here, okay? And we couldn't finish this video unless we do these things too. So it's really 1 and 2. It's understanding your subconscious chooses and then understanding your relationship shadow is really what this is called. By the way, before I dive into this further and tell you the next couple things, if you actually want to check out a fully free course on your shadow in relationships and how to overcome it and heal it and really get to the roots of where it comes from in your life, you can check out the link down below. It gives you free access to our courses at PDS. It's the all access pass and it gives you access to all of our courses. You can check them out fully for free for 7 days. But as a really special bonus this month, what we're doing just for a limited time during the month is we are doing a free course that you get to keep for life, all about key pillars to a secure relationship. So 7 days could get you through the relationship shadow course, plus you could keep that course for life. So let's talk about the other things here. Okay. You also, in order to rewire your dating blueprint, you need to know what your toxic dating stories are. We all have a lot of limiting beliefs. And if you have a lot of beliefs at a subconscious level that say things like, everybody will always betray me, finding love and connection is too difficult, nobody will ever understand me, I'm going to end up being alone forever. If you believe these things, you're going to sabotage love because you're going into, if you think people always abandon and betray you eventually, and then you go on a date, why would you ever consciously or subconsciously want to get close to somebody if you just are 100% certain because it's a belief system that they are going to abandon and betray you? Of course, you're going to sabotage yourself. I mean, it makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? So you want to see like what is actually going on here beneath the surface and what are these toxic dating stories? So I want to hear you go through this. And please tell me in the comment section. Like when you think about going on a first date, what are you afraid will happen? And what will that mean about you? So maybe you're afraid that the person will eventually leave and abandon you anyways. And maybe you're like, okay, I will be abandoned or I'm unworthy or not good enough, right? So like, what do you then make that mean? Or I can never trust anybody, right? So I want you to get really clear on what these toxic dating stories are. Okay. And then I want you to actually question them. Can I really 100% know this? Can I really know that everybody will always betray me? And, I want you to really take a look at some of these things and hold them into the light of your conscious mind. There's actually some deeper rewiring work you can do around this, but I'll save that for another video. But that is a really important piece. Okay. And then last but not least, you want to be intentional about who you're dating because you want to make sure that you're going on dates with literally the right people who are a match to what you're looking for. And that means sometimes you need to know ahead of time what your standards are, what your needs are, what your non-negotiables are. And what that will allow you to do by being intentional is vet for those things. So by the time you're going on a date with anybody, especially if you met them from like a dating app, you've had some of these conversations in advance. You know at a high level that this person's the right fit for you. They have similar interests. They're somebody who's more likely to meet your needs. And it will help you feel like your anxiety is eased going into dates as a result because you've done some of this pre-vetting process based on knowing who you are and what you're looking for. So those are major things that we really want to cover. Again, if you want to go deeper into this topic, you can check out your relationship shadow course and work through some of these things at a very deep level, fully for free for a limited time, and keep that free course for life. So I will leave that link down below, but that's it for today. If you enjoyed this video, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you don't want to miss any cool like offers or things that we do where we share like free courses or things like that on this channel from time to time, make sure you hit that subscribe button and don't miss any of our daily videos.